Morning everybody. Today's topic is on non-tuberculous mycobacteria. I think after talking about or studying about Mycobacterium tuberculosis and Mycobacterium leprae, this will be a continuation to the rest of the mycobacteria. What is non-tuberculous mycobacterial disease? These are naturally occurring organisms which are producing the disease, and they're found in water and soil. Inhalation of these bacteria may cause disease in susceptible individuals. So keeping that as the basic in the mind, so today we'll be talking about the definition, the features, the classification under photochromogens, cotochromogens, non-photochromogens and rapid growers. So the definition of these Mott bacilli or atypical mycobacteria or non-tuberculous mycobacteria. These are the mycobacteria which are other than the tubercle and lepra bacilli that normally exist as saprophytes of soil and water and occasionally cause opportunistic disease in man resembling tuberculosis, and these are known as atypical mycobacteria. These Mott bacilli is mycobacteria other than tubercle bacilli. So all these organisms have few characteristic features which are common to most of them. Some of them are rapid growers. Most of them grow at a wide range of temperature of 25 degrees, 37 degrees and even 44 to 45 degrees Celsius. They produce bright yellow or orange pigments, and some are non-pigment producers. They are acid and alcohol fast. Their aryl sulfatase test positive, niacin and neutral red negative. It is with these two tests that you can differentiate it from the tubercle bacilli. And these are resistant to anti-tubercular drugs. So let's move on to the classification. The classification is Runyon classification. It is based on the pigment production and the rate of growth, and that's classified into four groups: group 1, 2, 3 and 4. Group 1 is photochromogens, group 2 is cotochromogens, group 3 is non-photochromogens and group 4 is rapid growers. Photochromogens. So they don't produce pigments when incubated in dark, but they form pigment only when exposed to light for at least of 1 hour. And that is also mainly because of the presence of beta carotene that they have a yellow or an orange pigment. There are three main species you need to learn under this. That is Mycobacterium kansasi, Mycobacterium marinum and Mycobacterium simiae. Mycobacterium kansasi produces chronic pulmonary disease in old persons who are already having pre-existing lung diseases. Mycobacterium marinum produces swimming pool granuloma, and Mycobacterium simiae produces pulmonary disease. What is a swimming pool or a fish tank granuloma? The high-risk population who are more prone for this disease are swimming pool users and keepers of tropical fish. It produces superficial granulomatous skin lesions. This is a typical disease manifestation by Mycobacterium marinum. So the bacilli enter through the scratches or the aberrations of the skin, and they produce watery lesions. Later on, these land up as localized or secondary lesions along the dermal lymphatic lines. So along these dermal lymphatic lines, there's continuous watery lesions in the form of these granulomatous lesions. So what is photochromogens? They have the ability to produce yellow or orange or red pigment colonies even when incubated in the dark. So three species under these are Mycobacterium scrofulacum, Mycobacterium gordoni and Mycobacterium schulzii. Mycobacterium scrofulacum, they produce scrofula or cervical lymphadenitis in children. Mycobacterium gordoni causes pulmonary disease, and even schulzii produces pulmonary disease as well as bursitis. Non-photochromogens, they don't form pigment even on exposure to light. Important species under this classification or group are Mycobacterium avium, Mycobacterium intracellular, which is also called as Batis bacillus, Mycobacterium xenopi and Mycobacterium ulcerans. Mycobacterium avium complex. So it is actually a composition of two organisms, Mycobacterium avium and Mycobacterium intracellular. And this is the most common atypical mycobacteria which causes opportunistic infections in man. The environment behind this or acquisition of this organism is from brackish, ocean and drinking water. They are strongly acid-fast bacteria, and the main virulence factor is they have the ability to grow inside the cells. The term intracellular itself shows that it is intracellular surviving organism. They cause disseminated tuberculosis in patients with AIDS or COPD. It's most common opportunistic infection in a person with AIDS. The tissues and the blood are overloaded with bacteria. There can be even 100 to 1000 mycobacteria per ml of blood. That is the bacterial load. Diagnosis. Just like any other mycobacteria, the easiest way to diagnose this is by microscopy by acid-fast staining. They are acid-fast bacilli. They can grow at 45 degrees Celsius and they form smooth non-pigmented colonies in around 2 to 8 weeks. Regarding the treatment, clarithromycin or azithromycin in combination with ethambutol and rifabutin. This is the standard therapy for MAC complex. But those patients, those AIDS patients who are already having a reduced CD4 count and have not yet got the disease, it is rather good to give a chemoprophylactic therapy so that we can prevent this disease from developing. So for those patients, we tend to give clarithromycin or azithromycin. Mycobacterium xenopi. It's isolated from toads. It's a thermophile which grows at 45 degrees Celsius. It causes chronic pulmonary lesions. And the source is a hot water taps or water supplies in hospitals. Whenever we have organisms which tend to arise from water supplies in hospitals, we need to be very, very careful. Mycobacterium ulcerans. The name ulcerans, obviously it's going to produce an ulcer. So that is, the ulcer's name is Buruli ulcer. The site of this ulcer is usually on the legs and the arms. An entry is through minor injury. It forms indurated nodules and the nodules they break down to form ulcers. And finally any ulcer is going to turn up into a scar upon healing. The virulence factor here is the production of a toxin. It's an exotoxin. It's a phospholipoprotein lipopolysaccharide complex toxin. When this organism is inoculated in a guinea pig, it produces inflammation and necrosis in the skin. Diagnosis for this organism can be done by taking a smear from the edge of the ulcer. Usually it is the edge of the ulcer which is growing edge, and from there you can collect large number of bacilli. Same is the case even in Mycobacterium ulcerans. It grows in LJ medium, takes 4 to 8 weeks at a temperature of 31 to 34 degrees. It doesn't grow at 37 degrees Celsius. Finally, about the rapid growers. They can be either photochromogens, cotochromogens, non-photochromogens, and they produce visible growth on LJ media within 1 week at 37 degrees Celsius or 25 degrees Celsius. The main thing you need to remember about rapid growers are that they produce the growth within 1 week. They stain irregularly with AFP staining, they have low virulence, and they're more susceptible to treatment with antibiotics. They produce diseases of deep tissues following trauma or iatrogenic infections. They can be isolated from contaminated wound dressings, infections with IV catheters, prosthetic devices, heart-lung machines, heart valves, corneal grafting, and even after vaccination. So when we are able to isolate from these situations, so these are the most common diseases also produced by rapid growers. Mycobacterium fortitum and chelonem. They mostly produce chronic abscess in humans following vaccination. They can also cause pulmonary disease and they grow at 35 degrees Celsius. They produce white to cream colored colonies as shown in this picture. Or upon staining, you will be able to see as coccoid or filamentous bacteria. Mycobacterium flea and smegmatis. These are additional bacteria. They are buff colored, produce yellow to orange colonies, and they have the ability to grow at 52 to 60 degrees. Mycobacterium smegmatis is normally found in the smegma. It is also acid and alcohol fast. It causes a wide variety of infections though. It causes lung, skin, and even bone infections. So this is all about non-tubercular mycobacteria. I hope it was a short and a sweet class. Anyways, during this lockdown, stay safe and stay at home.